I'm Amy from Doodle Dog Designs. Today I'm going to show you how you can take a newer wooden stackable box and give it the look of a shaker style pantry box. This is a reproduction shaker pantry box that I have borrowed in order to look at the way it's made and to try to reproduce it. I also have this one here. It's a round one and it has 3 little fingers on it because it's a wider, deeper box. It also is a reproduction, and I borrowed these boxes so that I can use them as models for my project. So in order to do this, you want a thin wood box. If you have a round box or an oval box, you want to make sure that the box is not made out of really thick wood, heavy thick wood. This won't work for that. You want a thin wood, and it needs to have a little bit of a lip on the edge, and you can find these a lot of times at thrift stores or antique shops, and they're usually not very expensive. And the other trick to making sure this will work is to have the 2 edges be facing the same way. I have another box here that I got at a garage sale, and it definitely needs a makeover. And I started to do this on it and added the finger on this side, and then realized that the way the lip is, I would have to add the other finger on this side, and they really both need to be going the same direction. I am going to try to figure out how to make this work where I can add fingers to this. If I figure an easy way to give this style of box the shaker look, then I will let you know and make another video. So I'm going to do it on this box, and I have some thin cardboard, and I'm just going to use the inside of the box, and I'm going to use some craft glue and some spackling, and I'll need some small clamps. I'm going to use these little fasteners. I found these in the scrapbooking card making section at Hobby Lobby. If you have a box like this one that already has a fastener, you probably want to try to get a fastener that's about the same size to add to it. For this, I might use a regular office supply brass fastener. But since this box doesn't have any like that, I'm going to go with a smaller style to make it look more like this. And then you're going to need paint to match the box, or if you have to, you can paint the whole box all over again. So the first thing you need to do is make a paper pattern. The fingers are going to come off on the side here, so my cardboard is going to fit up right against the lip of this box here when I get done, and it'll just come out from there. So when you're choosing cardboard, you want to make sure that it's about the same thickness as the lip on your box. So you want to measure the width of your box. You could use a ruler. I just usually like to just use a piece of paper and fold it over. And then I'm just going to use my other box as a model. If you don't have a box, you can look for some pictures of boxes online. Just look for shaker pantry boxes and you'll find lots of examples. I'm just going to draw my pattern, knowing that it needs to be about this wide. And then I've cut the pattern out, and I'm just going to put it on there and make sure I like how that looks. And then I will use this as a pattern on my cardboard. Just keep trimming it until I get it the right width. And then once it fits on there, I'm going to use some tacky glue to glue it on. And you want to make sure that you glue the outside of the box that has the writing on it. Put the glue on that side. And I'm going to use a clamp here on both sides. Then you want to be sure to wipe away the excess glue. Then I'm going to let that dry while I work on the bottom of the box. I've made a pattern for the bottom and I'm putting 2 fingers on it. You would want to add more fingers based on how tall your box is. So on a really short box, you might just want 1 on the base, and in a taller box, maybe 2 or 3. And you also want to take into account when you're making the pattern for the bottom that the lid will be covering part of the box. My lid comes down to about here. So these 2 fingers will be showing. And I want to use this as a pattern. I could trace around it or just cut around it. So once you get it like you like it, you can go ahead and do the same thing here. We're going to put glue on the outside of the box. Place it on the box. And then clamp it down. I like to keep a variety of sizes of these clamps on hand. They're very handy for projects like this. I don't have any clamps though long enough for this part here, so I'm going to have to just hold it for a few minutes while the glue sets. Set it aside to let the glue thoroughly dry. After the glue has set, you can remove the clamps, and you'll notice there's just on mine, there's a slight lip here, a little bit of a bump. So I'm going to take some spackling. It's a lightweight spackle, and I'm just going to use my fingers and add it right in that groove to smooth it out. So when you get done, you don't really feel that lip anymore. The spackling dries really fast. The dry time is about 30 minutes, so I will set this aside and let it dry and then come back and paint. I'll go ahead and add the spackling on this one also. Have a little bit of excess glue here. I'm going to try to scrape off. Now you can see again, I've got just a little bit of a lip there. So I'm going to add some of this spackling. Just try to smooth that out. The end result I want is for this to be smooth and appear as if it is just one solid piece. If there is still a lip after the spackling dries, you can go back and add another layer of spackling, and you can use a putty knife too if that makes it easier for you. I happen to still have the same color red that was used to paint this. It's called Fingerberry Red. And so I'm going to just try to paint this area here and see if I can make it look good without having to repaint the whole box. If you had a ugly box like this one, you'd probably want to go ahead and paint the whole thing. I do have a video where I show an easy way to paint to achieve an old look, and I will put a link in the description below to that video. The next step is to add the brads to look like nails. So I've got these paper fasteners. I'm going to open it up a little bit so I can cut these one at a time, and I'm just using some wire cutters, and I'm going to just cut it up as close to the top as I can. And I'm going to do that with both sides. And then it is kind of pokey, so I'm going to push it back down inside. So now all I have is just a top piece here. I'm not going to put the fastener all the way through the box because I don't want to have to drill a hole through that cardboard. So I'm just going to glue these on the top and give it the look. And also, I don't want that to be on the inside of my box here so that the box lid wouldn't fit on the box properly. Then I'm going to use the same pattern as this box has. I'm going to use 2 a little bit further in and then 2 on the little tongue. So I will need 4 of these for each of the tongues. I've got the little brads ready, and I've put a dab of my tacky glue here, and I'm going to just take each of the little buttons and take a little bit of glue and dab it on there. Then I will place it. I'm going to place it right over the seam to kind of hide the seam a little bit. Just realize that that's too high. That would be where the lid is. I need to make sure that the lid, that my first little one of these tacks is lower than the lid. And really on this sample one, on this one, 2 tacks kind of on right centered on the end of the finger. So I think that's how I will try to do it. I'm going to let these set up just a little bit, and then I'm going to go in and try to clean up some of the excess glue. I think that actually this is too far away. I'm going to take those off and move them in a little bit closer. I realized after I got all finished that you could really see that seam in certain lighting. So stay tuned to the very end and I will show you how I worked that over again and got it to be smoother. After the glue has set up just a few minutes, I'm just going to go in with a rag and hold each of them down, kind of rub the excess glue off around. Be sure to hold it in place as I do that. After I finished the box, I realized that there's still quite a bit of a visible line here that you can see if the light is just right. So I'm going to go in with the spackling one more time and give it another try. See if I can get that smoothed out some more. After the spackle has dried, I'm going to use a sanding sponge to sand it. Until it is smooth. And then I will paint again. Hopefully that will smooth out that seam better. Be sure to click the like button and subscribe below. I'll see you next time. Bye.